Hey there, YouTube family. Dr. K here for Winning in Education. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you are one of my subscribers. On this channel, we talk all things winning. So whatever that means to you, you could be new to education. You could be thinking about moving up in the education game out of the classroom and perhaps into a school leadership position. Or winning in education could mean you're thinking about leaving the profession altogether. So whatever that definition means to you, welcome. Today, winning in education means enjoying your summer vacation. So as you will see from the title of this video, it is Happy Summer Vacation, teachers. And this video, I want to talk about 5 ways that I think you should be thinking about maximizing your summer vacation around this idea of happiness. Now, I know on this channel we talk about things that are not so happy, why teachers are leaving the profession, the teacher pay sucks, the kids are acting crazy, the parents are outrageous. So we're not always talking about happiness on this channel, and that kind of bums me out because I'm a very happy person. So I want to make sure that I give you 5 tips to think about happiness as you embark on the summer vacation. So all of you, most of you are finished teaching for the year. It's summertime. You have left the classroom and left the babies behind, and you're on summer break. So as am I. Kudos to you. But how can you maximize this summer vacation so that you boost your happiness and not stay, if you're in this negative space from the school year, in that place? 5 ways. So let's dive into it. Number 1, look at your calendar, and I want you to be specific here. Take out your calendar and look at how many days you have for vacation. So put it on your calendar and then divide that in half. So if you have 2 months off, I want you to take 1 month, half of whatever your time is off, take 1/2 of that, and do not think about your job at all. Now, I know this is going to be difficult because there are always things that happens in the summer that are vying for your job. Specifically, you could be teaching summer school, or your principal could try to get you to do all of these PDs. But if you don't have any of those external pressures on you, I want you to think of this half-time summer calendar experiment. So half of that time, I want you to not think about work as much as possible. Don't think about it. Don't think about how bad it was. Don't think about how good it was. Don't think about, oh my gosh, when the semester starts back up, it's going to be. No. Put that on your calendar. Feel free and take my permission that I'm giving you to be a lazy bum when it comes to thinking about your teaching career. You need to put your self-care first. And I think not thinking about or ruminating over, oh my gosh, September is right around the corner, or August, whenever you're starting, is right around the corner, is a valuable way to do it. So that is tip number 1 to increase your happiness and to boost you out of perhaps some negative toxicity feelings that you may have been having about your teaching job. Halftime of your summer vacation. This is your entire summer vacation. Half of that, you're not going to think about work. You're not going to be thinking about lesson plans. You're not doing lesson plans. You're not grading paper. You're not doing any of that. If you want to sit down and watch Netflix, do it. If you want to catch up on your reading, do it. If you want to catch up on your cleaning, do it. I'm not a cleaner, but some people find that enjoyable. Do whatever you want to do, just not work. That is happiness activity number 1. Okay, number 2, this is going to be hard. Avoid work talk at all levels. Now, typically, your teacher and your friends are typically teachers. And in the summertime, because we don't really get to bond with each other too much during the work year because we're working. So we don't get to go out and have drinks and go out and have lunch. So we do that over the summer, which is wonderful. Here's the problem. When your circle of friends, your immediate circle of friends, are other teachers or educators or principals or APs, and you guys go out on a social event, it inevitably turns back to work. No. You have got to be the one at the table to say, guys, I'm trying this happiness activity Dr. K told me about, and I am not allowed to talk about work on my social outings in the summer. So whenever it goes back to work, here are some things I want you to try to change that conversation. Talk about the latest movie you've seen, the latest Netflix series that you're looking at, the latest book, your hobbies, vacations. You intentionally should try to interrupt that conversation about work and steer it away from work. And you can tell your group, this is what I'm doing. Guys, I don't mean to be rude. I am embracing this Dr. K's summer happiness activities. And number 2 was avoid talking about work at all costs. So I'm changing the subject. I hope you will join me in this experiment. And I'm changing the subject so we don't talk about work. We can talk about anything else but work. This will be also another way for you to bring more into that friendship circle, particularly if all of your friends are teachers or other educators. So that's number 2. Avoid talking about work in your social outings over the summer at all costs. All right. Number 3. So number 3 is going to require some work. Number 3 is I want you to engage in activities that will intentionally make you happy. Now, what do I mean by this? We're off for the summer, teachers, right? We have all this free time. And if you're anything like I was when I first started teaching, those first couple of years, all I did in my summers was go out to eat with my teacher friends, ruminate over the bad experiences or even some of the great experiences. All we did was talk about work. And then I would spend money when I was out at the malls, right? So I was buying, spending. So instant gratification, sure. Seeing my friends is always wonderful. Having a great meal is wonderful. But those things tend to wane right after the switch is off, right? Right after you have that great meal, right after you bought that purchase. So we're not doing that. I want you to invest in intentional happiness activities or experiences. That's number 3. So don't buy stuff. Don't buy more clothes when you're at the mall. Don't buy the shoes, the latest Coach bag. I have an addiction to Coach too. It is a long-term battle for me. Don't buy it. I want you to intentionally seek out activities or experiences that will make you happy, because those will keep you happier over a longer period of time. So, for example, I'm pro massage. If you were thinking about buying a Coach bag for $100, go and get you 2 massages. That's 2 for $50. So space it out, put it on your calendar, try to get it in the month when you're not even thinking about work. And then you will be thinking about those massages. Yes, that Coach bag will look good on you for a minute, but you don't probably take that Coach bag everywhere you go. This massage, if it's done right, will feel great and you will remember that experience. So intentional happiness activities or experiences. Buy a massage, go to the movies, go to the theater, plan your vacations, big or small. Vacations don't have to be huge, right? You could if you're in the city, get on the train and say, I live in New York City, but I'm going to take the train up to Coney Island. Or I live in Philadelphia. These are places I used to live, so these are things I used to do that were relatively inexpensive. I would take the train from Philadelphia, the Amtrak train, and spend the day at Atlantic City Beach. Is it the best beach? No. But was it a beach? Yeah. Yes, I got to walk on a boardwalk. Yes, I had a beach day when I didn't feel like driving down to AC or some of the other like Brigantine beaches or some of the greater beaches in Jersey. It was an experience where I could have just taken that money and bought me some new clothes or a new outfit or a pair of shoes or a Coach bag. I didn't. I invested in a happiness activity and it paid off. So, number 3, intentional happiness activities or experiences, not more stuff. That's number 3, to enhance your summer of happiness. All right. Number 4 is going to sound cheesy, but I am pro self-help books. Okay. Number 4, find you a couple of self-help books to read over the summer that you think will increase your happiness. Now, of course, I'm going to list some books, some of my favorites down in the description, but I want you to think about books that, not just fiction books, right? You could do fiction books if you feel like these books will increase your happiness, but I want you to throw in maybe 1 or 2 nonfiction self-help books that are geared towards happiness, so that you could read about the psychology of happiness. There's a lot going on in this positive psychology realm, and people are actually researching and studying happiness and how to be happier. So let's read some of those books. I'm going to put some suggestions below. That is part of my summer of happiness as well. I'm committing to reading 10 books on happiness. I'm already in book number 2. As you can see, I'm fired up. And I'm investing in, and I tend to invest in more now, happiness activities over buying stuff. I think I'm kind of over buying stuff unless I pass a Coach store and then I get a little weak. Okay, so that's number 4. Self-help books. Yes, you can read some fiction books that you think will boost your happiness, but maybe 1 or 2. Do 1 or 2 books that are in the nonfiction self-help arena that are geared towards helping people increase their happiness. So that's number 4. And then 5, avoid negativity intentionally. I know sounds easy, right? Sounds easy, Dr. K. Avoid negativity. There might be some negative things happening in my house, with my kids, with my spouse, with my family circle, but you have to be intentional about avoiding negativity. So you may have to have conversations just like you did with your teacher friends when you were out with them for lunch, perhaps with your family and your other girlfriends, or your church friends, or your volunteer groups. When you feel like the conversation is starting to steer towards negativity and you feel like you're now in a very toxic environment, you have to be the one to raise your hand and say, guys, I'm embarking on the happiness of summer. I'm trying to stay positive. I cannot engage in this sort of negative talk. So negative talk in your immediate circles and your friend groups and your social situations, and then also negative talk up here, right? Whenever you feel like you feel negative talk coming into your mind about, oh my gosh, I only have 2 more months off from school. What kids am I going to have? I hope I don't get that crazy parent. Stop. And tell your brain, stop. Say the word, stop. Number 1, if you're in that half mark of your calendar and you're in the first half where you're not even thinking about work, you're not thinking about work. So you're going to say stop. And if you're in the second part and you're starting to approach when it's time to start thinking about getting geared up for work and, okay, we got to start gearing up, you still want to stop the negative talk, because it will just make you start to feel the pit in the middle of your stomach where you start to feel like, oh my gosh, I don't want to go back. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. So no, this is not a magic bullet just because you're going to stop yourself and say, stop the negative talk, but it may help you, right? Stop the negative talk and then try to replace that negative thought with something positive, anything positive. Bring up a picture that you took when you were at the beach of your toes in the sand. Right? Bring up a picture of you that you took when you were walking into that massage place. Take these pictures because you may need some support during some of these dark times. So I want you to have a wonderful summer, but a summer of happiness. And you have to be intentional about this happiness to protect your overall self-help and your overall self-care. All right, guys, that is it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give us a thumbs up, share it with your friends, share it in your circles, and comment. I want to hear what you are doing in this summer of happiness to boost your happiness. And what are you doing to combat negativity and toxicity from encroaching into your social circles? Share your tips with the community below, because we can all learn from one another. Okay, that is it for now. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.